Years have passed since large-scale organised child abuse was exposed in Rotherham. But two whistleblowers say senior police officers are still avoiding scrutiny for their failings. A strategic drugs analyst at South Yorkshire Police, Angie Heel, first reported drugs gangs were also sexually exploiting children 20 years ago.
So the first report I did was in 2002, and that was looking at crack cocaine use and supply in South Yorkshire, and that's when I came across the issue of child sexual exploitation, because I hadn't heard of it before, so I was really shocked.
Angie wrote 3 reports over 4 years, but felt no one was listening. A decade later, after an independent inquiry found hundreds of young girls were being sexually abused by gangs, Angie complained about the failure of senior officers to act, teaming up with youth worker Jane Senior, who contacted the Independent Office for Police Conduct, the IOPC.
I got a very angry telephone call saying very clearly that if I continue down this path, I need to be very aware that there's actually legislation, and if vexatious complainants continue to complain, there is legislation that could be looking up to 2 years imprisonment.
Who was saying that you could go to prison?
The IOPC.
Jane had been awarded an MBE for exposing the grooming gang scandal. She'd been invited to Downing Street and was given a Commander's Award after the successful prosecution of a gang. But now, trying to expose senior police failings, she was in a battle with the police watchdog.
And I remember going home and saying to my husband something along the lines, wow, it's like the Mafia. You know, you try to go for them at the top and everybody around them just comes out fighting.
Last week, Angie and Jane were vindicated. The police watchdog upheld their complaint, but the full report into senior officers, seen by Sky News, was not published. Aspects of it were included in a broader review called Operation Linden, but with no mention of high-ranking officers.
It's not highlighted at all. You have to know what you're looking for. It doesn't mention its senior officers. It's not really commented on until page 112. It's virtually the last section of the report.
The report into senior officers does strongly criticise the failed strategy at the top, but it doesn't name officers and makes clear there was a lack of cooperation.
The IOPC has limited powers when it comes to interviewing witnesses, and they say they contacted several retired police officers who worked in intelligence and child protection. But in their report, they say they would not engage with us, and we couldn't force them to do so. And this has been a barrier to obtaining evidence.
South Yorkshire Police say they accept the recommendations of the regulator, but not criticisms where no individual is identified. The police watchdog told Sky News, "We're proud of the impact this work had and the real changes in policing we expect to see as a result. Our priority has always been the welfare of the survivors. We recognise that some of the outcomes will not be what was hoped for, but every single case we looked into has helped inform our recommendations that aim to ensure others do not have to go through the same experiences." But these two women say the process for complaining against senior officers remains murky and is not fit for purpose. Jason Farrell, Sky News.